Hey, good morning. Welcome to another LiveTime with Alec. I'm Alec, and I'm excited to kick off a new series with you guys. First of all, it's been super fun with hanging out with all you guys on the digital sphere for 2020. It's been radically different. First of all, I have to make sure my camera and my mic is right. I never do that, and then I started and I didn't do that. And exactly, my microphone is not the right one.
Oh, muted the whole time? You traitors. You're watching me and you're just I had someone text me, thank you. I was muted the whole time and you let me down. Okay. Here's what I'm excited about today. I've had really a ton of fun doing digital influence series. That was awesome. And the ebook that came with it, I hope you guys grabbed a copy of it. If you didn't, drop a comment and I'll send it to you. I loved office hours. It was so much fun collaborating. And then I realized some of my most popular lives, most popular conversations have really been about the basics of this digital world. Yeah. where were you, Brad? The basics of the digital world. We all can agree we're not going back, right? Like, yes, as COVID continues to open, even though like California slipped back to the purple and all that stuff, this digital space is here to stay. Like, this is going to be a massive place to continue to play, prospect, build influence, originate, etc. And so one of my most popular stuff has always been like the basics, because we were never taught. Like, what camera should I buy? What microphone should I use? How do I plug it in? How close should it be to my mouth? Like, we're not taught this stuff and we're all learning it organically. So I'm going to kick off a December series, likely starting this month, because we might as well just get into it, called Back to Basics. I moved houses recently. It's extremely stressful, crazy times, and I bought a puppy. I'm an absolute maniac. But I'm setting up a new office in my brand new work at home environment. Thank God I'm not gonna be in my garage anymore, so you can give me high fives for that. But I thought it would be fun to show you guys all the different options on how to play in this game. So we're gonna do a Back to Basics series, and I'll walk you through it. Number one's gonna be on lighting. We're gonna have a full-on live time about how to set up your lighting, because lighting matters. If I can't see your face, before I go back into all the basic stuff, guys, you have to land with me on this. This is like crucially important. When you go to a meeting with a customer or a realtor, okay, I guarantee you come prepared and you come with your best foot forward. Is that fair? Like, when you're going to meet with a customer, you come prepared and you come with your best foot forward. You put the tie on, you get dressed, you look good, you got your deck, you're prepared to have a meeting. And the more you're prepared, guess what? The higher likelihood you are of converting that customer or that realtor partner. That's just the basics. And yet, as we pivoted into this digital world, a lot of people haven't taken the time to play and figure out all the different things. Because here's the reality. I don't care how amazing you are, how good you are at selling, how great you are at building rapport. If I can't see you, or if I can't hear you, you lose. You're not going to convert. You're not going to build relationship. I don't care how good your content is. If I can't hear you clearly, you lose. Now, I know that's unfair, but it's just the reality of the game. And so we're going to do a whole series. We're going to break through lighting. I'm going to give you all of my recommendations on lighting, plus where to go buy them. No, I don't make any money on that crap. I'm just going to give you the resources. Then we're going to go through cameras. So right now I'm shooting on a Logitech 1080p, but normally I love this Logitech Brio. It's awesome. But what about if we go a step further and we bring out the big dog? So I'm going to show you everything that I bought, all the setups, because there's a time and place for each thing. I always give the analogy like this. Business casual, nice suit, custom suit, overly custom crazy suit that now you look like a clown, right? So if you kind of realize like business casual would be like an iPhone and AirPods. Great. You sound good. The new iPhone camera is amazing. You're rocking, right? So in my mind, that's business casual. You're showing up to play. But then you got a suit. And what do you wear in a nice suit? Right. And so now we're going to be bringing in things like lighting, and we're going to be thinking like, what kind of camera do you use? Camera angles, microphone, for example. This microphone's fantastic. It's a Yeti Blue. It's awesome. You know what? Also, this is this. Ooh, this is the big dog right here. And so we're going to talk about what these cameras are, what these mics are, how to use them, how to plug. I mean, literally how to plug them in. Because then when you get to like a mixing board to increase your audio, it's like people get overwhelmed. You're like, But this stuff matters, and there's a place for it. There's a place for a nice suit, and there's a place for the custom setup with this whole thing. There's a place for this too. And you should know that. You should know it so you can know when to use it to make sure your message comes across clear and crystal, and that your audience, your customers, your partners, your friends, your realtors, they have a chance to experiencing you the way you want to be experienced. You see, that's the line I always go on is, are you showing up the way you want to show up? Because it's not that complicated. If Dum Dum can learn how to do it, the sales guy, then trust me, you can learn how to do it, and we'll go through it. And if you have questions or things you want to go deeper on, get ready, we'll go for it. But I'm really excited about this because at the end of it all, after we do lighting and camera and microphone and computer setup and mixing board, oh yeah, see, Ruben, you understand. But this thing's like the custom suit. Like you're gonna invest in this thing. It's a piece of gear you're gonna spend money on and invest in because you think it matters and you want to show up and sound up in a certain way that your audience can relate to. And by the way, this Yeti right now is doing a great job. So this is not about like if you don't have this gear, you're like your content's not going to suck. You're going to be fine. Except some of the most popular content you could possibly create. And I keep saying content. Some of the most popular messages or videos you can possibly create are typically done on an iPhone, walking down an alley or walking down the park or something like that. Trust me, because humans crave authenticity. But I want to equip you guys to know what to use, when to use it, give you all my thoughts and feedback, because I'm going to just say it again, loud and clear. If you want your message to matter, then you need to make sure it's showing up the way you want it to show up. This space isn't going to end. And we need to go back to basics because we talked about how to big digital influence. We talked about how to start leveraging social media. And then I'm afraid that a lot of people are still going to show up without good lighting, without good sound, with a terrible camera angle. And it diminishes your message. It doesn't diminish you as a value as a human being, but it diminishes your message because people, and especially in the scroll world, man, it needs to show up in a certain way. Now, I also mentioned in the beginning of this about the clown suit, right? Like the overly custom suit that's too much, where you're like, ooh, like you push too hard, bro. Like orange and purple, like don't push that hard. That's the overproduced content you see everywhere that's a turnoff. That's the commercialized content that you automatically have an aversion to because you're like, I don't connect to this. You don't want to go there, but you need to know how to play the game. You need to know how to play the game so that when you show up and you have a message you want to deliver and you're passionate about it, you can make sure it's being delivered the way you want it to be delivered. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back to the basics. This is like, teaching your kid how to tie a tie. This is how you I know it's not normal for everybody because we've been forced into the digital world, but I know most of you have the brain power to understand we're not going back. We're not going back. So if you have any recommendations you want to make sure I hit on, drop it into a comment, send me a DM. But for the next 60 days, 45 days, we're going back to the basics. This way too, when you need to ask Santa for that new present, when you're like, hey, Santa, I know what Santa's getting you this year. I got your Christmas list all hooked up. We're going to get you all dialed in. And plus, believe me, oh yeah, dude, for sure. We're going to talk about this when we get into microphones, condenser versus dynamic. We're also going to talk about how to set up how to set up your camera so that you get the right effect, you get the right angles. And by the way, I'm a novice at this. So I've learned it all through the YouTubes, but I'll share with you the people I listen from. And Ruben, you make a great point. But this is your opportunity, all of your opportunities to learn how to make sure that you come out the way you want to come out, that you sound the way you want to sound. I cannot tell you how many times I've been on Zoom by myself, hitting record and just listening to myself and then playing it back and being like, man, that sounded terrible. Oscar, good morning, my man. This is definitely a place we all need to invest in. I don't know how else to do it. I don't care what you do with your life, who you serve, what you sell, what you do. This medium is a place you got to be really comfortable in. And one of the best ways to get comfortable is having confidence in your setup, confidence that you know how you're sounding, that you've listened to yourself, that you know how your audience is going to hear you. And once you get that kind of stuff down, more of the barriers are taken out to absolutely dominate with your message into the market. Because I don't care, again, how good you are. If I can't see you, I can't hear you, I'm scrolling right by. You're white noise. And if you overproduce your stuff, you're boring. You're too produced. I want some raw authenticity, but I still want it to sound and look good. So that's what I'm excited about for this year to end the year. We're going to go back to the basics. We're going to hit these things. Hopefully at the end, deliver up a full training platform for everybody to go back in and share with any new hires or anybody else you guys have about here's how you set up yourself for success. And by the way, it's not just in sales. Like I've been, you gotta hear me on this. Like it's not about, I don't care if you're in sales or if you're in management or leadership or teaching or whatever, dude, those Zoom calls where you're on there and somebody's like terrible. Cameras up their nose, they're not showing up. You're like, what is going on? Like this stuff makes an impact, whether you're selling to somebody, serving somebody, or working as a team. Do you all remember like the team projects or team Zoom calls you're on where you always have that one person who you can't hear and they're like, oh God, oh God. And you're like, can you just someone mute Karen? Like it's this terrible. This is how, but this affects everything now. It's permeating. It's moving through the industries. It's moving through life. And I want you to dominate. By the way, how many of you have kids on Zoom calls still? Can they be heard? Can the teacher see them? Can the teacher hear them? This matters. This matters. My wife's like, why did you buy kids Yeti mics? Like, well, I want them. It's not like voyeur. It's not like just, I want them to be heard from their teacher. And if you're a parent and have your kids on Zoom calls, how chaotic can that be? That whole environment can be super chaos. But I want to set my kids up for success. I want to set you guys up for success. This stuff matters. This stuff matters. You are being judged by it just the same way you'd be judged if you walked into a business meeting in sweatpants. Everyone's going to judge you, and I want you to win. So I hope you join me for the Back to Basics series. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to rock it. We're going to go through lighting, cameras. We're going to go through computer setup, audio setup, mixing boards. We're going to go from simple, business casual, to business badass. And then you can pick the lane to play in as you start bringing your messages to market. Because I can tell you right now, each of the lanes have a specific thing where it really matters to play in that certain space. You don't want to show up in the full custom suit to a happy hour necessarily. It's like, oh, you're a little dressed up here, bro. Like this is business casual. But you'll figure it out. You'll play the right lane. But man, this stuff is important. So excited for you guys to join me. Thanks for hanging out today on the announcement. This is going to be a ton of fun. And for those of you that were on when I was muted and didn't say anything, I am watching you. Dude, thanks, Ruben. Dude, this is the deal. I know this sounds like super like first world problems. It is. It's all first world problems. If you're watching me right now, you probably only have first world problems. But like this stuff matters. It matters for our kids. It matters for how you show up with your teams. It matters for how you show up with your leaders, with your employees, let alone your customers and your partners. This stuff matters. And I want to be damn good at it. And so should you. So I look forward to Back to the Basics with you guys. Not only am I going to give you my recommendations and my setups, but I'm going to walk you through exactly where to buy it, what to send it to your spouse, be like, hey, Christmas right here. Like we're going to line it all up so that you can have a badass setup because this is not going away. Appreciate you guys. By the way, I'm also going to bring on some experts because I don't know everything. It's a shocker, I know. But I really want to drive home some value to you guys. And I want everyone to up their game because it matters. All right. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Kick some serious butt. I'll see you guys on the internet. Take care, everybody. Appreciate you guys.